WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. Thank you for tuning to WVTC Radio Detroit and the Community Bell Show with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner Edna Bell. Information Detroiters will find valuable. Text a friend and tell them to watch with you for news you can use. And now, your host, Edna Bell.
Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? It is Monday at 4 o'clock, so it must be the Community Bell Show. We are so glad to have the listening audience with us this Monday, the first Monday of March, which happens to be Women's History Month. And we have a very special guest with us this afternoon. It is Miss Bobby Smith, who is the president of the Women's Informal Network, better known as WIN. Bobby, welcome to the Community Bell Show.
Hi, Edna. Thank you very much.
We are so glad to have you.
Thank you.
We are going to talk about just a lot of women's stuff today. Okay. And so anyone who wants to dial in and ask a question or give a comment, you are certainly free to do that. But Bobby and I are going to be talking about Women's Informal Network, in particular, our 30th anniversary. Bobby, talk a little bit about it.
Well, Women's Informal Network, we refer to it as WIN, is a nonprofit organization. And our mission is to promote the growth and development of African American women in metropolitan Detroit. And as you said, this is our 30th year. This is our anniversary. So we're looking for great things to happen this year.
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, the last couple of years we have been hampered, as the rest of the world has been, because of the COVID virus. And so we have not celebrated our anniversary for the last couple of years. So this 30th one gang is going to be a humdinger. It's going to be a biggie. We're going to celebrate mightily, because we're going to claim it that the virus will be at such a level that we will be able to get together and greet each other and commune with each other that we have not been able to do over the last couple of years, and celebrate African American women in this area. We are just thrilled to have so many. And as many of you have heard from Pat Cole, who is the founder of WIN, we have celebrated over 500 women over the past 30 years. And so we're looking forward to getting in contact with those women. So if any of you are listening and you were a celebrant of WIN over the last 30 years, please contact us. We'd love to have you involved in our 30th anniversary. So it's going to be a really, really big show, as they say. How about that, Bobby?
It's going to be a big show. As you said, the last couple of years, 2020, we do our honorees luncheon every year. This is during the Women's History Month, and we honor women who have done great things in the community. And we've honored them up until 2020. So 2020, because of the pandemic, we had to put it on hold, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. But to 2020, we came back in 2021, and we did a virtual. That was our first time doing virtual, and it was very successful.
It turned out, I think, very, very well. We had phenomenal women, and
great.
Exactly. Somewhere between 50, 60, 70 women online participating. So it really turned out very well.
It turned out very well. And so when we came into this year, 2022, which will be our 30th anniversary, we really wanted to do something during Women's History Month, but we wanted to wait because of the pandemic. Wanted safety, but we wanted to be able to meet and fellowship together and bring a crowd together. And hopefully by October, we should be able to do that. Hopefully we will. The numbers are going down.
We're gonna pray mightily on this one.
Exactly. that we will be able to do that. Yes. And during the year, we're planning to have some events leading up to our October event. So you all will be finding out as we go along. We plan different little events to come up, so we can. In October, it will be a great event. We're going to honor women at that event also. So it's, and we've been around 30 years. Yeah. And as Edna said, our founder, Patricia Cole, she's founded the organization, and we'd like to celebrate her too. She's been working in the trenches, and we've been doing it for a long time. We have a lot of programs and activities that we've been involved in, and also honoring the women who deserve it. So we want to make sure that we make this a very, very big event.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Pat, talk about one of our recent events that we had with the Reggie Mckenzie Foundation and the relationship we had with them.
Reggie Mckenzie Foundation. We have developed a relationship with Reggie Mckenzie Foundation. We were able to participate in a program with them where we were able to receive goods so that we could donate to other organizations. And also during the summer, we in turn went and volunteered with their organization, which was really exciting, to go out to the football field and work with the kids. Registration, we weren't running around on the fields now, but it was registration and helping with the pandemic protocols and things like that. So we built that relationship with them now, and which is really good because WIN likes to partner with other organizations. It's very important that we support each other.
Absolutely. And as a part of what we did with the Reggie Mckenzie Foundation, we were able to get, what did we have? Diapers? Did we have diapers?
We bought diapers and all kinds of baby baby accessories that we were able to donate to
National
Association Negro Business and Women's Professional Organizations baby shower.
Yes.
So Wynn has participated in the baby shower previously, but this past year we were able to give more things to the baby shower, and that's another partnership that we have with the it's not New Metro, it's the Detroit Club.
The Detroit shower. Yes. And for those of you who don't know, the National Association of Professional Women and Professional
Negro Business and Professional Women
is a group of women in the metropolitan area who donate, who have a baby shower every year. And it's a huge baby shower. And people donate just anything that a baby could possibly need. Car seats,
clothing
and just you name it. They donate it to this organization, and they give it to young ladies who are have had babies who need it. We in the past have done it. I have to belong to that organization too, so I'm a double. We've donated. We used to have it at the Kresge Foundation over by the medical center. And also this last time it was at Henry Ford. We had donated those items and dropped them off. And they did a really neat way because we were in the COVID protocols. So we just pulled our car up and we had put the items in the trunks of our cars, and people came out and just took them out of the trunk of the car. So you didn't have to do anything, say anything. They just came up, took them out of the trunk, and you drove off. So it was really very, very well done. Very well organized, and helped an awfully lot of young ladies who need help after they've had children. And sometimes we don't think about that part of having the baby, but there's so many of the young people who need that kind of help. And the other end is that I was talking to a young lady yesterday that she has joined a group that is helping young ladies as they are pregnant. As they are carrying the babies, to try and help them make sure that they're eating well and they're doing healthy things, getting to the doctor's appointments, and doing all the things that will result in a healthy pregnancy. Because unfortunately, Detroit and Highland Park, Hamtramck area has one of the highest baby mortality rates in the nation. And we need to make sure that we can help these young people bring the babies to full term, bring them to full term, very healthy babies, and that the mother is also healthy and able to take care of the child. They teach them how to take care of the baby. You need to wash the baby, how to feed the baby, how to clothe the baby, how to carry the baby, where to put the baby to sleep and how to put the baby to sleep. Don't put the baby in the bed with you. Do not put the baby in the bed with you. So all of those things that I'm sure a lot of young ladies just don't even think about when they're carrying those babies. And some of them just don't have the support systems necessary so that they can be successful and have good, healthy lifestyles for them and the baby. And so I think those things are so important for us as African-American women to be able to help those young ladies through full-term pregnancies, because that's the other thing. A lot of them are delivering them early because they don't know how to take care of themselves, and they don't have the right doctor. They don't attend the doctor as they should because of whatever reason. So it's important that we try and help those organizations that are working with those young ladies on the front end, so that when we get to the back end, once they have delivered, we can help them, and we can help them with after birth care, postnatal care, and all the clothing and whatever else they're going to need, because that's what's going to make those babies survive.
Right. And that is so true, because as they say, it takes a village, and helping young ladies to get a healthy start.
Yes.
And that is very important. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We're going to take a break in a couple of minutes, and then we're going to come back and continue to talk more about when and our 30th anniversary and women in general, Women's History Month. We need to be celebrating ourselves, celebrating all the wonderful women who have done things in the past and who will indeed do more in the future, because we're going to raise them up to do those things. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's it's incumbent upon us to be a part of that evolution that says that we can help these young ladies to be whatever it is they want to be, and that's part of our job.
Yes, it
Part
is.
of our, yeah, tough job now. It is not an easy job, not an easy job. And I've been working volunteering with Mckenzie elementary middle school and trying to help them improve their absenteeism rate. You know, if kids don't get to school, they won't be schooled.
Exactly. Right. That's very important. Right. You have to get them there.
You have to get them there. And it is the absenteeism rate is not a good thing in Detroit. At least it just isn't. And we need to find out how we can help the parents, because and we're talking about elementary school, the kids can't get there on their own.
Exactly. And I don't think a lot of people understand that the absentee rate is so high.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I just don't think they realize how high the absentee rate is. I was talking to the attendance agent last week, and the numbers he was quoting to me were just, I'm trying to remember if any grade was above 50%.
Wow.
There might have been one or two. Yeah. That's scary.
Yes, it is.
I mean, for reasons we all know, but it's scary because the first thing is the kid is not in a safe environment. They're not in school. School is probably the safest environment for all of these children during school hours. But secondly, they're not learning anything. And when you think about COVID and what they have probably lost
exactly a lot. They've lost almost a whole year.
Yes, yeah, 2 years practically.
You're looking at third graders, and they should be fifth graders, but they're still at the third grade level.
Yes, and many children, I dare say the majority of them, don't learn as well in the virtual environment as they do when they are face to face with their teachers and around their peers.
Because they need that support and everything from the teacher and also from their peers.
Yes. And so we've just got a lot of work to do. But when you think about the absenteeism rate being that high, and Mckenzie is an anomaly. Mm-hmm. It's like that at almost every one of the schools. But the thing that bothers me most, if you look at Cass, Renaissance, Bates, Western, those attendance rates are 80-90%.
Okay.
But then you look at our neighborhood schools and the attendance rates are somewhere between 30 and 70%. We need to look at that. I mean, that's what this nonprofit group I'm working with is doing. It's called Helping Kids Go to School.
Okay.
And Mckenzie is the pilot for this. And what we're doing is providing coaches. We're calling them coaches for the families. We work with the families so that if that family is having a problem getting that child to school, we try to help them with whatever it is.
So could it be transportation? Could be any number of things.
Transportation, didn't have the coats, didn't have uniforms. I mean, whatever it is, we're trying to find ways to help them. We've delivered coats to families. We are delivered uniforms to families, and families probably don't even know. Detroit Public Schools has something called Family and Community Engagement Center.
Okay.
It is located on Finkel and Asbury Park. Don't let me get it wrong, but it's Finkel and I want to say maybe it's Finkel and Asbury. It's between Greenfield and Southfield is the location, and I'll get that location. Oh, there it is. She's got it. Finkel, Asbury Park, 16164 Asbury Park. At this location, families can go and pick up uniforms if they need uniforms.
Okay.
If they need coats, they can get coats. If they need backpacks, they can get backpacks. If they need training and computers and how to help their children navigate during the COVID time, during virtual, they can get training there to help them help their children. And that to me is another big issue. Parents don't have the skills to help their children during that virtual environment.
Right, because a lot of parents do not have are not that familiar with technology.
Exactly.
They don't have access to technology.
Exactly. So the Family and Community Engagement Center really is there, but the issue is we got to get people to know it's there.
You have to get them to know it's there and to take advantage of it.
Exactly, and to take advantage of it. But not only do they provide the things I just mentioned, they provide food items. You can go and get a box of food.
Okay.
Cereal and canned goods and those kinds of items. You can go and get washing detergent to wash clothes.
Okay.
You can get, particularly if you're talking about young girls who are grooming themselves, you can get hair shampoo. You can get a little makeup for them to cleanse their face. They provide all of those items. They have a wealth of items that are available free of charge to Detroit public school families.
Okay.
And I want families to know that they can go there and do that. And the telephone number and the address is on the screen. I want them to take advantage of that because it is so important that we do everything we can to help these children get to school.
Oh, yes.
Parents may not know that if you have an issue with washing your baby's clothes, there are washing machines at schools. There's one at Mckenzie, there's one at Carver, there's one at almost every school has a washing machine.
Exactly, right.
And you can go to the Family Engagement Center and get the detergent necessary, and you can go and wash and dry your kids' clothing. So, there are all sorts of things to be able to help with you getting your children to school in a safe manner, and you need to take advantage of it. And I just want people to know that there are people and there are items out there that can be helpful to them. If they are in need of mental health services for the families and the children, there is a number they can call, that same number at the Community Engagement Center. They can call that number and they can direct them to someone who can help them. Because I think in this last couple of years, mental health has become a big issue. And not just for, and people aren't crazy, they just got some problems. And all of us have had some issues as it relates to just emotional issues because of this COVID, because of not being able to be around people that you're usually around, not being able to engage and go out and do things. So we need to do that. And I'm just talking, Bobby, jump in there. I get on a roll.
I'm just letting you share the information, Edna. Share the information. But you're so true. I've noticed with young people, the kids in schools, how it's like stress or I don't know what it is. It's anxiety or something. With the kids who have come out of the pandemic pretty much. Well, what are we now in the epidemic, they say? So it's out of the pandemic now, trying to get to the epidemic.
Yes.
So, a lot of kids do have a lot of stress or anxiety or some kind of issues that need to be addressed, so it is important that we deal with mental health. Very important.
We really need to do that. And it's and transportation also becomes an issue. But the school system, children in high school only need to show their high school ID and they can ride the bus free. The middle school children, 7th and 8th grade, I wouldn't want any of the lower grades to be riding the bus by themselves.
Right, the city bus, no.
But maybe the 8th graders, if there's an issue, then there are bus tickets available through the school social worker or through the school attendance agent or the school there's a DHS worker at each school, so they will provide bus tickets for those children. Mm-hmm. And so that piece of transportation should not be an issue, but people just don't know.
I was just going to say, do you think it's just a lack of communication or just the message is not getting to the families?
I think all of that, but I think that the message just isn't getting to them. And we have to find some vehicle, some way to do that. We are looking to start a particular campaign with the group I work with, helping kids go to school, that says every day counts, every hour, every day.
Don't every day count, not just count day, but every day counts.
Yes, every day counts. Don't fall behind, because every day you're not there, you're falling behind. And I'm just afraid of what's going to happen in September when these kids go back to school and they're supposed to be in the 8th grade and they're not functioning at the 8th grade level.
And kids become very discouraged.
Yes.
They realize that they're not functioning at that level. They know it. And that's very discouraging to them.
Yes. And I think a lot of what happens when we see kids acting out in school is really a result of them feeling inadequate.
Exactly.
And not knowing how to handle it, not knowing how to tell somebody that I need help. And some of the anxieties that go along with the COVID epidemic. I just think a lot of that has to do with children not getting the kind of help they need to just get around day to day. And then so they take it out on each other. They're fighting.
Right, exactly. Because I've heard that a lot of kids, there are more kids are fighting in the schools now.
Yes.
Than they were before the pandemic.
Yes. And one of the things, interestingly enough, because I attend the school board meetings, and just for everybody to know, school board meeting is second Tuesday of every month, 5:30 tomorrow night. But I attend the school board meetings, and one of the things superintendent said was that the children who graduated in the 8th grade in 2020 and started high school in 2021 didn't get a chance to really social. Well, actually, didn't get not the one in 21, the ones that graduated in 2019, and didn't finish the year.
Right.
And 2020, they didn't get that 9th grade of socializing. That's what the 9th grade is. It's socialization. You're learning your way around the high school. You're learning how to act in high school because you're going from class to class to class, which is something you didn't do in elementary, middle school. And so those kids didn't get a chance to learn how to socialize.
Right, exactly.
So now they're in the 10th grade. But they didn't learn how to do what they were supposed to do in the 9th grade. So now they're fighting because they're frustrated. And that's what a lot of these fights are coming from, because the kids are frustrated.
Exactly.
And so I just want us to find some ways to help. And I'm thinking one of the things that used to happen, there used to be something called dance clubs in some of these schools. And the dance clubs would just kind of be around the school, helping out, talking to the boys as men do, helping the boys out. We need to find a way to make that institutionalize that, so that we have more of those groups of men who these boys can see that are just want to help them out. And it makes a difference if you see men in the hallways.
Yes.
And around the school, whether you're going to start fighting or not.
Exactly. That's true. Yeah. We do need more men in the schools.
And so I just
it would be nice to have more male teachers.
Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? And I think they're trying to do it. But if there's going to be a long road to hoe, as they say.
Right, it's going to be a long road, and it's going to take a while to get there.
It's going to take a while.
So there's going to be a group of kids who's still going to miss all that.
That's right. And so there's so much that we need to do to provide support to these children and back up to the families that need it.
Exactly.
Because it isn't the way it was when we grew up. We lived on streets where the families had lived there for years, and everybody knew everybody's family. And everybody knew, and if my mother wasn't home, I could go next door to so-and-so's mother till my mother got home. Or if the arrangement was, I didn't have to go anywhere because I knew to go in the house and close the door, and couldn't go outside and play and couldn't have any company. So that's
right, exactly.
That's just the way it was. But at least there were people in the community who you knew, people on the street who knew you.
And you were safe.
And you knew you were safe. Exactly.
And your parents knew you were safe.
I don't know if that's the case anymore, simply because we've had so many streets that have been devastated by vacant homes, uh, and new people who have moved in who are renters. Not that renters can be really good people, but oftentimes renters don't own the house, and so they are not as committed to that community as people who own the homes if they were living in them. And so block clubs make a difference. We had block clubs. We had people on the street who knew people on the street. So if somebody strange was on the street, they would call and say, "Hey, did you see so and so walking down the street? Do you know who that is?" You know, they could monitor that.
Yeah. And you don't see block clubs like you used to.
You don't.
You know, some people have started this neighborhood, neighborhood online kind of thing to talk to people in the neighborhood. But do you really know your neighbor, your actual next door neighbor?
Exactly. And the online thing, I guess, is another way, but there's nothing like knowing what that neighbor looks like.
And you really don't know who's online anyway.
That's right. You don't know who's online.
You don't know who's writing what, really.
Exactly. So it's nothing like being able to really know who your neighbors are and communicate with them. And so you know who's coming and going in your neighborhood and up and down your block. It just makes such a big difference. And I just want us to try and get back to something similar to that. It'll never be the same.
And we got to protect the children.
But we got to find a way to protect the babies. We just have to do that. And the fact that they are not, the absentee rate is so high, it's just frightening.
So you know the kids are not in school, but where are the kids? Are they home? Yes. Are they on the block plan? Are they somewhere they shouldn't be?
Yes.
So that's another safety measure.
Exactly. So there's got to be a way for us to help people help themselves and make sure these babies are in school and learning. Because let's face it, if they don't get what they need, if they can't read by the 3rd, 4th grade, they're going to be in trouble for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, yes, they will.
And we're just fueling the school to prison pipeline. We keep saying that, but it keeps happening.
It keeps happening.
So part of what I still want women to do is get involved in just supporting women who are trying to help themselves and trying to do the right thing by their children and their community. And that's another thing that when it's done over all these years, is to be very supportive of women, other women, and providing them whatever assistance we can provide them. And that's what I think part of when we had the young ladies, we worked with the young ladies. And Pat was talking about how they made clocks at one time, but we have to find some more ways to get more engaged with children so that they know there are people who care about them and can help them be successful in whatever it is they choose to do in life. Right. My grandson is going on a trip at the end of the month. There's a Black College tour coming up, and they haven't done, I guess, for a few years, simply because of COVID. And they started off, I think, with like a bus and a half full of kids. And before they knew it, they had 3 buses full of kids.
Oh, yes.
Going to the Black College tour. Right, so I'm excited for him. And it's going to be taking place when they're out of school at the end of the month for semester break or spring break or whatever they call it. Spring break, maybe. But they're going to be going to 2 Black colleges a day. I think they start off at Norfolk State, Hampton, Howard, Morehouse, Spelman, Florida A&M, and I left something out, but those are at least some of the ones that they're going to be going to. So I think it's exciting for the young people to start now. But he's only in the 10th grade, so they're starting them now so that they have some idea and get their minds ready for what they're going to do with their future, because these next 2 years will go by so fast. We'll be swimming.
And see, it also gives the young people an experience to travel, because you were talking about our program, which was our Heads Up program.
Yes.
And it was the program we started in 2000. And the program actually ran for about 10 years. We're looking at other things to revamp the program or to look at other ways to assist young ladies. And so our program was to give young ladies information, and experiences to help them make smart and healthy life choices.
Yes.
And those were some of the things we did. We took them on trips. We took them camping. We took them to a hotel. We had speakers to come in. We had this young lady who had lived in her car.
Mm-hmm.
And she ended up going to Michigan State. She has a degree in materials something. I can't remember what it was, but it was a degree that most people don't get degrees in that area. But she came to speak to the young ladies about how she had to live in her car and how that progression happened.
Yes.
And we had young ladies at the hotel who said, "Can I do room service? I've never been in a hotel before." And just to see them doing that kind of stuff, and they did their own presentations. We took them camping, and I remember went to the one in Port Huron. I think it was which one is it? The YWCA camp.
Mm-hmm.
And at night, they were like, "We see the stars."
Isn't that incredible?
And I looked at them and I go, "Okay, yeah, we do see the stars," because you don't see the stars in the city. And stars were everywhere. And you could hear the water. So these experiences that these young ladies had, and we've had a lot of them went on to do great things. They're very successful in their careers right now. And they always say what we did for them in the Heads Up program. They didn't show it to us when they were in the program.
Of course not.
We heard from the parents of, "Oh yeah, they said they read this. What is the strategies for what is for highly successful kids or whatever."
Uh-huh.
We were reading books. We made sure that they read. And I know that's one of the things that the schools are really promoting now, 20 minutes a day, at least 20 minutes of reading per day.
Yes.
But one of the things that we did, we had them reading books. We had book club. It was a book club. The younger girls had a book club. The older girls had a book club. So they would read the books, and then they would come in and discuss the books.
Wow.
So
we may need to get back to that.
Right. And we didn't do any research on that. You need to read 20 minutes a day. But we knew that reading was important.
Exactly.
And so that was one of the things they did. We had the book club. And as you said, Pat said they made clocks. They were learning entrepreneurship. Mm-hmm. They sold the clocks that they made. And they made the clocks out of, I would say, Motown records. I think more than the old records. We just asked people for old records. What do you call it? Vinyl records. I guess the vinyl. And they made beautiful clocks. We still have pictures of those clocks, and some people purchased the clocks. Hopefully some people still have those clocks.
Wow.
But it taught young ladies about finances. We gave them financial literacy classes. At that time, we had a grant from it was Charter One Bank at the time, but now it's Citizens. Uh-huh. We had a grant from Citizens, and we took them downtown, the parents too, to I think the 4th floor in the building, and they had them looking at grocery flyers and adding up groceries and understanding how to spend money, how to save money. So those kind of things, giving young people those experiences, information and experiences. Like I said, I went to the bank. I was sitting in the boardroom. I went camping. I saw the lights. I went to the wasn't rainforest, the butterfly forest.
Yes.
So those things, while some of them don't appreciate it while they're in it, as they grow older, they understand. When they become teenagers of 20, 21, whatever, they understand and what the benefit it is and people who care about them.
Isn't that wonderful? So we have to think about doing that another session of Heads Up.
Well, we actually have something in the works now. It's not necessarily going to be Heads Up, but it's going to be working with young ladies. So still doing the same thing, promoting the growth and development of African-American women. And we said one of the things, our legacy is to deal with the young girls to bring them up.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. And speaking of African-American women and helping each other out, we talked before we came online about women being able to connect with women and take care of each other. Yes. So ladies, find yourself a buddy. Get a buddy that you contact a couple of times a day, or maybe at least once, and they contact you to make sure that you're okay. And we don't think about it until something happens.
We really don't. We don't.
We won't. And so we need to make sure that we have somebody who checks on us in the morning to make sure we woke up and to make sure we're still okay. And somebody who checks on us late in the evening. Find somebody. So we're going to continue to harass you ladies about that. forever now. It's on the radar. every month I'm going to say, okay, did you find your buddy? Did you call your buddy today?
Yeah.
Find your buddy and make sure that your buddy is okay. And your buddy will make sure that you're okay, because there's so many of us who are living alone, and we're living longer. So we're going to be around here a while because we're going to stay healthy. So we're going to be around a while. So we just have to make sure that we're checking on each other, just to make sure that we're all in good health and good stead, and we're okay. So ladies, find your buddy. Make sure you got your buddy for next week, because I'm going to be asking you about your buddy. And you'll probably say, yeah, I got my buddy, and that's good. just make sure you got your buddy, and you call your buddy or text your buddy or whatever it is you do to make sure that your buddy is okay. Yeah.
It is important for someone to know where you are and how you are.
Yes,
very important.
Exactly. Somebody knows.
Yes, somebody should know.
Yes, somebody needs to know. That is so important. Bobby, thank you so much. This has been wonderful hearing about the WIN program and all the things that we are doing and going to continue to do. As I said, first Monday of the month is WIN Monday. So we will talk about WIN. And so we'll continue to think of things that we can talk about, and we'll talk about it. Maybe we can highlight some of our honorees and have other WIN members on to highlight what they do. But I think it's important that we celebrate ourselves.
Yes,
if we don't celebrate us, nobody else will. So let's celebrate ourselves. As Women's History Month, we're good. So we're gonna just tell everybody we're good, just in case they didn't know. They probably know though. But we're gonna tell them that we're good. Time to end the show, and I'm going to end with my new quote, and that is from Martin Luther King. It says, "Not everyone can be famous, but everyone can be great. It only takes a heart for service and a heart for love to be great." So everybody stay great out there. We'll see you next Monday on the Community Bell Show. Again, Bobby, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
There'll be more. Everyone have a great week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, take care. Okay.
Thank you for listening to Community Bell with your host, former Wayne County Commissioner, Edna Bell. This broadcast was brought to you by WVTC Radio Detroit. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, our website, www.wvtcradio.com, or download our WVTC app from the Play Store for Android users and the App Store for iPhone users. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, tell a friend to tune in. We'll see you next Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern to the Community Bell Show, right here on WVTC Radio Detroit. You're listening to WVTC Gospel Radio Detroit, and we're flowing in the Spirit.